Hi, in this video I'm going to be showing you the basics of the Soundtrap interface as well as how to import and edit loops. Let's get started. Here we have the Soundtrap Studio interface, and it has the same things as every other DAW, a section of menus, transport controls, key and tempo, metronome controls, and a timeline. We'll get more into these as we go through the tutorials. For right now, I'm going to concentrate on this middle section where we have these different options. And I'm going to choose this option that says Browse Loops. This makes the loop browser pop up on the right hand side here. If I want to audition a loop, I can just hit the play arrow next to it. Like that. There are a wide variety of loops in Soundtrap. Right now I'm going to go to some featured drums loops by clicking on those two search terms and narrow my choices down to the drums. This Busy Basics looks promising. Let me hear it. I like it. I'm going to favorite that so it'll be in my favorites later on. Now I'm going to bring it into the main interface. I'm just going to click and drag, and it automatically gives me an 8-bar loop. It enables loop playback, and it starts playing back. Now what I can do with this is several things. I can drag this to the top. I can drag the loop playback section along with it. If I want to turn loop playback off, I just click on the bar. If I want to extend this drum loop, I go over here to the loop trimmer in the upper right hand corner and extend it out as far as I want. I can then extend the loop playback to match that. If I'm at the end of the loop, it'll bounce back to the beginning as long as loop playback is on. Just like that. Now let's add another loop to this. Instead of drums, let's go with a bass. And let's take a listen to a couple of bass loops. I like that one. I'm going to favorite that. How about this jazzy bass? That's good, but it probably wouldn't work well with this up-tempo drum loop. And then we have a bunch of other, basses in here. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the retro funk and drag it in. Now it gives me a loop equal to the other loop in length, and I guess it wants me to put it at the beginning, but I don't want to do that. I want it to come in at bar 3 to make the beat a little more interesting. Now we have a 2-bar drum intro, and then the bass comes in. It's pretty tight. What if I don't want to use the whole loop? What if I want to use part of it? Well, I'm going to de-loop it. That's important that you de-loop it first using the loop trimmer. And then I'm going to use the editing trimmer, which are down here on the bottom of the loop. The editing trimmers are down there. And I'm going to trim that down. It's getting pretty tight. I can't really see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go down here to the zoom tools and just zoom in. There we go. And there's a 1-bar loop. Now you can right click and copy and right click and paste to paste in a loop if you don't, if you want there to be rest in between. Now let's listen to this. It's a whole other thing. Now I'm on a Mac, you might be on a Windows. But in either case, if you hold down the Alt-Option key while you drag a loop, it will make a copy of it. And that's kind of handy. Once I'm here, if I want to, let's say in bar 9, that the bass comes in all the way, right? The full bass loop comes in. I can stretch that back out, drag that back out to reveal the entire loop, and then start looping the full loop. I can zoom out again to get that, and I'm going to make another copy of this here. Boom. By the way, notice how when I edit and move loops, they're snapping right to the grid. That's because I have this snap to grid magnet icon on. If I turn it off, then the loops can move freely. I can also undo that move by clicking the undo arrow a couple times. I'm going to turn my magnet back on though, because I like things snapped to the grid. Let's take a listen to it now. So we have those pieces of the loop. Now we'll have the full loop. And we've provided some additional variation to keep our listener interested. That's the key with this kind of loop-based music, is to always be varying and changing the loops, make them your own, so that the listener doesn't get bored. If it's just the same thing over and over again, they will tune out. So now you know how to import loops, how to edit loops, how to move them by just clicking and dragging, how to enable and disable loop playback, how to enable and disable the grid, magnetizing to the grid here, and you can see the transport and tempo controls. I will say one more word of warning about the tempo. Decide on your tempo first, and then try not to change it. Even when you're working with MIDI in this program, the audio stretching and the MIDI timing capabilities are not what they are in some other DAWs, and so your timing can get off. So make sure you choose your tempo first. All right, in the next video, we're going to be adding some more layers to our loop composition.